So today I wanted to talk a little bit about my year of living with fibromyalgia. And this video is mainly for anybody who's going through this experience, has been affected indirectly by also seeing those family members or loved ones going through this experience. So I just thought, how do I commemorate, if that's even a word? Okay, just reflect back on my year of living with fibromyalgia. So there's many different schools of thought. When I got diagnosed or given the label of fibromyalgia, this was last year in March. So if you haven't come across my video, let me just introduce myself really briefly before I get carried away. So my name is Chico, and I'm currently supporting people online, and this is my new lifestyle basically. And so last year I got given the label of fibromyalgia, so it did help me to have that label. The reason why I say it helped me was because without it I wouldn't have known what I was going through or the experience in order to start then figuring out how I was going to heal myself. So when I first got given the label, well, for 3 years I was clueless as to what was happening to me. I didn't know, so I went to like doctors trying to discover what it was, and I also tried to help myself through like healing processes, but none of that was working. And part of my being, I just thought maybe it's fatigue due to work, or maybe I was just like sensitive to the cold. So that's how it started, and it triggered. Then it just went off to pain. So just I don't know if whether it was like overnight, but the experience felt like it just happened overnight, that the symptoms became critical. So where I can pinpoint is just being in the work environment and being overly sensitive to work and feeling like I was dragging myself each and every day to get to work. So I was like an early morning riser, and then it changed to me waking up a bit later or struggling to wake up. That instead of getting into work at let's say 7 or 8 o'clock, which I like doing, I would get into work at 10, then 12 o'clock. Then I thought, no, something is not right. And every time I was associating it with the weather or due to workload. Then drastically my symptoms like changed to the point that it felt like it was a flu, but the type of flu that only a small percentage of people experience this. So when people say they've got the flu, they actually mean they've got the cold. But when you have this type of symptoms that I'm talking about, the flu, it's the actual flu. And for people like myself, it's something that you feel like you never recover from. So the people who go through the flu finally recover from it. But when you have the symptoms that I do, you feel like you don't actually recover from it. It becomes a recurring theme or something that doesn't go away for a long time. So I started to experience that as well, and I started to feel like really lethargic. My legs were like really weak. A lot of things going on. So I went through a year of going through understanding what was going on with me. And the understanding process, what I've discovered through this is that it's not only my journey. Other people that I've been connected with, it also becomes their journey. So the positives, well, let me start off with, well, I'll look at it as a positive, that people genuinely want to help. So everybody feels as though they're a doctor somehow. That's my experience. That some people I've met, they wanted to offer like a cure or a remedy, or to say, oh, you know, either you get over it, or maybe it's just like the flu symptoms, or they'll use words like, oh, I know what it feels like because they've got a cold, or they feel tired. Then in my mind I would think, no, it's not exactly like that. But what I've learned through this process is that that's the only thing that people can really associate with. They can only relate according to their own experience. So if they've never had the symptoms that I have, they can only get so close to really understanding. And the only way I can describe musculoskeletal pain, because that's what the experience is that it affects the whole body, and it feels like when you go for a doctor, not a dentist appointment, and somebody's drilling, and that pain without numbing it is what it feels like, but it's all over the body. So this is the best description I've come across, which was described to me by thankfully a doctor. So I'll give doctors credits to understanding what people who've got similar condition like I do understand or have studied this like for so many years. So in terms of the label, I struggled with the label being inputted on me. I was thankful, but at the same time I was thinking, my goodness, do I want to carry this label, and what does it mean? So initially I didn't want to accept it, but by not accepting the condition itself, then it was almost as though I wasn't coming to acceptance. So this is what I heard as well, indirectly or directly through health professionals, saying that I had to come to terms, I had to accept that this is a condition that I have, and it's going to be a lifetime condition. And then I also had external parties through social networks who would say that I don't have a condition as such, and it's an experience that I'm going through. So different schools of thoughts. So I decided to accept that what I had was a condition, because it is a condition. And the reason I chose to accept that was in order for me to learn how my body and mind works, so that I could finally start to heal. So I'm on the stage where that now what I am accepting is that rather than just focusing on the label itself, because I've had a year, is now to start focusing on what I feel, what I feel as an individual on a daily basis. So not necessarily focusing on the condition itself, but it's learning who I am today. It's coming to acceptance with that I'll never, not never, but I'm not the same person I was last year. Yeah, so I am, today I was even like, had like a sobbing or crying fest, because I was starting to realize that part of what has been a difficult experience has been wanting to hang on to the old me. And today was just a realization, another realization, that part of this journey has been for me to let go. By letting go, I mean that I've had to accept that my life is not fast-paced anymore. It evolves around being slower. And being at a slower pace, I'm starting to accept that it's not a bad thing, because it's given me greater insight. It's given me more empathy, more connection to other people who are going through this experience. I also look at the world in a different way. Through my own journey, I also have noticed that I also need to have patience with myself and let go of wanting to perfect things around me. So if I can't do certain things, it's okay, because sometimes as human beings, we have this internal dialogue that pushes us to continuously want to do things, and it's as though we're in a race. But the race, there's actually nobody saying you've signed a contract to be racing through life. So what it's given me, and what I'm grateful for now, is that I've had the opportunity to be with me, to sit still, to stop moving very fast, to accept that this challenge has been presented to me, that it's not the easiest of life lessons, but through the pain, physically, mentally, spiritually, I will learn, and I am learning on it. I'm learning on a daily basis. How I'm learning is that I'm starting to appreciate the smaller things in life. Yeah, so it's not about I need, but it's just accepting that I am thankful to be awake today. I am thankful to be alive. So it's just confirming those smaller things, and also taking the moments and the opportunities to meditate, be in a quiet space so that I can come whatever activity is going on in my body. So the reason why I'm sharing this is also to help people who are going through this experience, to let you know that it is okay to slow down, and it is okay for you to also not be too hard on yourself. And also, part of the experience that I've had, although it's not easy, it's to let go of the past, because the past no longer exists, and what exists is the now. The now is just accepting who you are in this current state and taking things to the best of your abilities. Okay, so I hope this has really helped. The year, I can't say that it's like a year anniversary, a happy one, but I know that certain things in our lives happen for a reason, and that there are also lessons within that. And this lesson for most of us might also be the most difficult one, because what I've learned, and probably if you've gone through this experience as well, is that there's a lot of dialogue that goes on internally and also externally. So when you hear somebody else telling you something which you feel does not resonate with you, or is not in line with your values or where you want to go, accept it for what it is and let it pass. Take it as though it's their beliefs, and it is definitely their beliefs. It's not your beliefs. You know where you are and where you need to go in life. You know the reasons why, or you may not even know. So some people know the reasons why they were diagnosed, they got this condition. Other people don't. So for me, I don't, because I didn't have like an accident or any trauma, but I've come to accept that it happened. It happened, and I'm not looking or digging to find any solutions. And when people do offer solutions, I accept it. Then I evaluate it and think, is this something that's in line with the path that I'm choosing for myself? So it's about evaluating, not being too hard on yourself, because this is what the condition does as well. It's a tester. It's a tester. So the external world and their dialogue, and then your internal. So why I suggested earlier about sitting still and being like taking time to be with you is so important. It's so essential, because what this will allow you, it will allow you a space to gather your thoughts, to decide what is best for you, because only you know what's best for you. Yes, it's great to hear from other people, but the people you hear from, they wouldn't have walked in your shoes. Only a few would have walked in your shoes, and my experience would differ from your experience as well, because as we know, all of us go through varying degrees of like symptoms. So I'm going to end it here, and I just wanted to share this as a reflection of what my year has been like. And if you've got any questions, do feel free to leave a comment below, and also to get in touch with me. Bye for me for now.